Hee-ju drives home impatiently, while Se-yeon tries to look for the device she used to call him as the kidnapper, but she returns soon and stops him. He makes the excuse that he lost his phone, and she calls his number to find it. However, Se-yeon finds the seductive lingerie in her drawer, and while he teases her about it, both of them fall on the bed. Seeing her so close, Se-yeon starts to remember the kiss, and he runs outside in a panic, while Hee-ju takes out her phone. Outside, Se-yeon runs to get the impure thoughts out of his mind when Hee-ju calls him from the kidnapper's number. Se-yeon says that he was just waiting for the call, because he has started to look forward to their daily conversations. He says that he wants to learn a lot about him, and for that, they are going to ask each other questions in turn and give a truthful answer. Hee-ju agrees and then asks the first question. She wants to know if the deal Se-yeon made with Ina before the marriage concerned Hee-ju, and he affirms before taking his chance. He asks if Hee-ju is being threatened right now, and her answer is both no and yes at the same time. Next, she asks if he married Hee-ju just as a hostage to let Ina go free, and he affirms. He begins telling her about his nightmares and how seeing Hee-ju was the only thing that could help him calm down. He knew that she had no one to rely on, and her house was like a prison, so he wanted her to escape, but in the end he became her new captor, and she had to ally with a nasty man to get free from him. He then asks her if Hee-ju still wants a divorce, and she says that for the longest time she hoped that things would get better between them, but nothing happened, and she lost hope. She says that she doesn't want to get her hopes up now because they are going to be shattered anyway, and Se-yeon replies that he can give her the sincerity, attention, and affection she wants. He says that he acted cold to Hee-ju this entire time because he thought he would have to let her go one day, and he didn't want them to get attached. However, now that he knows her feelings, it changes everything. He tells Hee-ju that he will promise to make an effort and change things between them, and in return, she won't make this call to him again. The flustered Hee-ju tells him that it depends on his efforts and cuts the call. The next day, it is time for their team retreat, and Se-yeon has prepared heart-themed lunchboxes for everyone. In the bus, he scares away the guy sitting next to Hee-ju and sits in his place. Hee-ju falls asleep on his shoulder soon, and Se-yeon tries to pull down the curtains, but they are too far, so he shades from the sun using his hand. However, his subordinate's weird ringtone startles him, so he pushes Hee-ju away. Later, they get to their lodging and decide to play some games, and Se-yeon uses his influence to team up with Hee-ju. They play some games, and when they win, Se-yeon lifts Hee-ju in his arms but then gets embarrassed because everyone is judging him now. As his reward for winning, he just gets some pictures clicked, and the man clicking the pictures becomes suspicious based on the amount of effort Se-yeon is putting in. After that, they go hiking, and Se-yeon and Hee-ju leave everyone behind. They reach the hilltop with a great view, and as they are about to click a group photo, a bunch of middle-aged men and women swarm Se-yeon because they are his fans. They push everyone away, and because of that, Hee-ju falls off the cliff. Se-yeon panics and goes down to find her even before the rescue team arrives. He tells them to deploy the sniffer dogs and asks them to hurry because things can get worse after sundown. He keeps calling her desperately, but she is out cold, and her phone is broken. Hee-ju comes to her senses later at night, and luckily she is not so seriously injured despite the steep fall. As she props herself up against a rock, she remembers that someone deliberately pushed her, and it was not an accident. Her phone is broken, but fortunately she has brought the modified phone along. She tries calling emergency numbers, but the phone is not made for that, and it can only contact Se-yeon. At the same time, Se-yeon is desperately searching for Hee-ju alongside the rescue team. Hee-ju doesn't want to call him, because she still thinks that he has doubts about the identity of the caller, but she realizes that this is the only way for her to survive. She realizes that she should have confessed to him earlier, and then takes the leap of faith. She calls him, and Se-yeon picks up immediately, asking, "Where is she?" He tries to act like he is speaking to the kidnapper, and not her, and indirectly instructs her to use a signal flare that was inside the first aid kit. He keeps saying how scared he is right now, and Hee-ju struggles to open the bag and fetch the flare. She shoots it, revealing her location, and Se-yeon runs towards her, promising that he will find her and keep her safe this time. That's all for this video, but the story is not over yet. If you want to see what happens next, leave likes and comments on the video and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss the next part.